Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining today's session of performance management. So, today we'll be covering all the measures that we'll be considering for reviewing the employees. So, that is on objectives, competencies, core values, and the review questionnaire. So, we'll just wait for 4 to 5 minutes because most of them are yet to join the meeting. So, we'll just start it by 4 5 sharp. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So, today in our session of performance management, we'll be covering all the measures that you will be considering for reviewing the employees, like objectives, competencies, core values, and a review questionnaire. So, we'll discuss all these sections in detail and we'll check all the configurations that you can do it in Keka. So, and apart from this, we have a continuous feedback and a skill matrix. So, we'll cover all these topics. Let me share my screen. Please let me know if you can view my screen. Thank you. So basically, before we go to the screens, let me explain you on brief what are objectives, competencies, and core values. So when coming to core values, so these are the common values of the organization. So it should be common for all the employees. Let's say you have honesty or integrity. So these are the common values each employee should have in the organization. So when you're adding those competencies, that applies to all the employees in the organization. So we'll discuss first in the core values. So if you go to performance tab and competency core values, so you can add the core values of your organization here in this tab. So once you add all the core values, this directly gets applicable to all your employees in your organization. So you no need to manually assign it because it is the common across the organization. So when coming to the competencies, so you have a segregation that in Keka, so which is core, common, success, and job specific. So core, coming to core competencies are the strengths, skills, based on which the process is it is adding value to the process or the organization. Like if an individual employee is taking any initiative, or because of his skill or strength, if there is any value added within the process or the organization, you can consider them as a core competency. And when coming to common success, so it is common across two departments or a two process. So if there is any department in which there is a common skill within the two process or the departments, you can consider it as a common success. You can for example, you can take it as a communication or a product knowledge here. So is it clear? Sure, I'll just zoom it. Can you see the screen now? Is this clear now? Is it fine now? Okay. So I'll repeat it again. So when coming to competencies, you have three segregations in Keka, which is core competencies, common success, and job specific. So when coming to core competencies, these are the strengths or skills of the employee based on which the process or organization is getting the value. So based on the employee initiative, if there is any value that is added to the process or the organization, you can consider them as a core competency. And if when coming to common success, it is a common skill within two process or two business units or a department. So let's say you have a communication that is a common within two processes, so you can consider that as a common success skill. And when coming to job specific, it is directly related to the job of the employee. Let's say you have a sales process, you have a sales target. So you can measure the targets directly, which is linked with the job of the employee. So you can, or else you have any timelines that you have set for the employees. You can directly track the timelines on rate on the timelines of the employee. So these are three different segregations we have in the competency. Accordingly, you can add it in Keka. So is it clear till now? Okay. So the same competency. So if you want to add a competency, you have an individual way of adding it. So against each competency, you have a add competency section. So you can add a competency brief, give a description as required. You can select the competency type here if it is common, success, job specific, and core. So against each competencies, you have a option to add the behaviors. So coming to behaviors, it is optional. So behavior is like, so let's say you have a competency of communication. So the behavior would be written skills, listening skills against that competency. So you can create multiple behaviors, and if you want to rate on that specific behavior as well, you can enable this option here. So this behaviors also will be reflecting in the review form whenever you are reviewing it. And this is the individual way of adding the competencies. So you can, you have the bulk way also. So you can import the sheet directly with the competency behaviors from this sheet. So you can download the template and upload it. So is this clear? Okay, so once you create a competency, so the next question will be coming is how to assign it. So for assigning a competency, so each employee may have multiple skills, right? So it is difficult for us to individually assign the multiple skills to each individual. So here we can create a job function, so wherein you will collate all the competencies that you have added in the system and then assign it. So you can either segregate based on the different designation levels and give a weightage for each competency as well. So to assign it, we need to create a job function. So if you go to job functions tab, so you have an option to create a job function. So you can create any job function here, and you have an option to select the department to which you are assigning this job function. You can even select the multiple departments here. And if you see, you have a segregation of multiple levels. So in this specific job function, you can add number of levels to the maximum of 5. So if the competencies are varying based on the designation, you can add different levels and assign the employees based on the levels. So if you want to assign weights for each competency, you can enable this. If not, it will be considered as equally. So if you see against executive level, I'll add the competency here. These are the competencies which you have already added in the system. So you can pick it from here as applicable. So I'll add it. So if you see, there is no way we can assign a weightage here against each competency. If you want to give a manual weightage, so you can click on this option, assign weights to competency, and here you can give a weights manually. The whole weightage should be 100% against each level. So I have created the job function here. Now we need to assign the job function to the employee. So if once you create a job function, you need to go to assign job functions here. And if you want, you have a filter that is given to show employees only without assigning to any job function till now. So you'll have all the employees who are not assigned to any job function. So you can click on edit and select the job function that you have created. So for each individual, there is a maximum of 2 job functions that you can assign. The weightage will be on the whole 100%. Okay, so in this way, you can assign the job function. So is this clear till now? Okay, I'll repeat the job function again. So basically, job function is so for assigning multiple competencies to each individual. So we'll create a job function where you can collate all the competencies in one job function. So for that, you will create a job function and add all the competencies in each job function as applicable. Okay, so for each competency, you can assign weights and also you can create multiple job levels. So is it clear till now? Till creating the job function, is it clear? Yeah, Lena. So it is a particular department, or you can also do it for multiple departments at once. So we'll move it to assigning the job function again. So here you have a individual. So if you filter on this, show only employees without any job function, you will find all the employees which are not assigned to any job function till now, so that it will easier work to assign to them. So when you click on edit, you have an option to select the job functions, give the weightage against each job function, and here the whole weightage will should be 100. If you're assigning 2 job functions to an individual, it should be you can give a manual weightage as required, so, but it should be a 100%. If you're only assigning it one, it will be 100% for each job function. Is it clear till now? Okay, so you have a bulk way of assigning as well, but not really on the Excel sheet. If you see here, you have a bulk edit option. When you're clicking this option, so you'll find all the employees will. Just a minute. So if you see, when you click on bulk edit, you will have all the employees that are shown in this way. So you can assign for within the department wise, you'll have all the employees. So you can directly go and select the job functions one by one from here and assign it. Is this clear till now? Okay, so then now we'll move on to the objective section. So when you go to objectives, so let me brief you on the objectives. Objectives are, or goals are the targets that you will be giving to the employees for a specific period. So, and based on the progress the employee updates, so you will be reviewing them. Okay, so we'll just go through the objective settings now we have in Keka. So if you go to objective section and under settings tab, so before you create any objective, it is mandatory that you configure the global settings here. So if you go to OKR settings, when you click on change settings, if you see you have two methodologies here. So first you need to finalize on the methodology you want to opt before you create a objective. So the major difference of OKR and traditional objectives is in OKR, if you select, it is mandatory that you add key results against each objective. If you see here, when you select OKR, the key results is graded out. You will not have a flexibility to disable or enable the key results option in here. And also in weightages, you can only assign it to equal weight. You cannot change it to user defined in the OKRs section. So but if you are coming to traditional objectives, you have a flexibility where you can give manual user defined weights, and also you can enable or disable the key results for employees. Okay, and if you go down here, you can set up and visibility settings. So for you have a three types of objectives, right? Individual, company, and department. So apart from the owner, you assign the objective. So whoever the person you had here, he can also update the progress of the objective that is assigned to him. And you can set the minimum and maximum limit that an individual needs to be assigned, so that a system will prompt you on the same. So is it clear till now? Okay, I'll explain on the methodology again. So the major difference of OKR and traditional objectives is in OKR methodology, you'll not have a flexibility to enable or disable the key results, and you cannot configure manual weightages for key results as well and as a whole objective. But when you are opting for traditional objectives, you have a flexibility where you can disable or enable the weightages and the key results. So is this clear now? Okay. So once you configure these settings, so you need to create a time frame. Time frames are the frequency on which you will be reviewing the employees, or on which the objective is assigned to an employee. So when you click on a time frame, so you have option to select the frequency. How frequent are you assigning the objectives, and what is the period that you are considering? So if you see, you have a custom option as well here. So if you do not have a frequency, you can also select the custom option. Time frame name, start date, and end date. So only once you create the time frame, you will have an option to select this time frame against the objective whenever you are assigning to the employees. Is this clear? Okay, thank you. So once you have a time frame created, you can create objectives now. So when you go to objectives and administration, so and active objectives, so you have both ways to either you can add individually and also in bulk. So if you click on add objectives, you can set the objective name, select the objective type. So individual objective is something you are assigning to an individual employee by giving a certain set target for a period. And department is you're giving objective of an entire department, and you're assigning a common employee, any owner to it. So all the employees within the department can view the progress of this objective type. Same with the company as well. So you owner would have the option to update the progress against this objective, but whoever are there in the company across the organization can view this objective from their profile. So you have option to select the time frame from here, and you can also give a start and end dates here against each objective. So if you want this to be included in the review, so you can check this option, or else it will not be reflected in the review form. So here you can set the measures, how the progress can be calculated. So do you want it to measure on the percentage, or you want to give it a metric unit? So metric units, you can create the predefined metric units. I'll help you with the path of it. So if you have any set target that is given, so you can select the metric unit and give the start and end value here. So you have a option to add the tags or links, which is referring to against this objective, and save it. Okay, so once you create the objectives, employees will be receiving in me and performance tab. So this is the employee portal, right? So they can view those objectives here in me, performance, and the objective section. So is this clear till now? So Pooja, so you can consider as sales team. So where for an employee you are giving a sales target for a quarter or a month, and you can keep metric units as sales and give the target value for them, and accordingly they can update the progress. So from employees end, once you assign the objectives, they can update the progress against the objective from this section. So this is the objective, for suppose. So you have against each objective, you have option to update the progress. Just click on update progress, enter the value here. You can also update the status and mention the note and update it. So this will increase the progress of the objective. Okay. Is this clear till now? So Himanshu, you need to assign it through a bulk import if you want to assign it to all the employees, and hidden it is the same way. So you can do it through Excel import. Okay, so these are the three sections majorly you'll be adding in Keka. So whenever you're starting the review process, you can select either of the sections and then configure the review form. So are these three sections clear? So do you want me to repeat it? So Darshan, you're talking about the start and end values against the objective. Okay, so let's suppose you have a objective that you're assigned to the employee from sales point of view, and you have given a sales target or a profit percentage you can consider. So you can set the value as zero. Always the initial value will be zero. So whatever is the maximum target that you're giving to the employee can be set it in the end value. So let's say you want a 50,000 target for each quarter. You can set the values as 0 to 50,000. Okay. So objective section is clear. Okay, let me repeat objectives once. Just give me a brief. I'll give you a brief again. So objectives are those the targets that are given to the employees, and based on the progress they update, you'll be reviewing or rating the employees. So before you create an objective, you have an option. You need to select the methodology that you are going to follow for against the objective. So in the objective section, if you go as an admin, you need to configure the settings first. If you go to performance tab and objectives, you have a settings section. So you need to select the methodology here. As I've mentioned you the difference, so you can select the applicable methodology and configure all the settings. Set the visibility and the maximum and minimum limit against each objective before you create it. Create a time frame against each objectives. Only then it will allow you to select from the drop down while you're creating the objectives. And then you can create objectives going to objectives and administration tab. In active objectives, you have an option to individually create the objectives and also import the objectives. If you click on import objectives, you can, if you have enabling the key results in the settings, you have both the options, either to import it for objectives and both for objectives and key results. So you can download the template and upload it. So is this clear now? Yes, Himanshu, we can set different objectives for each individual. Okay then. So if you in the objectives itself, you have different options to clone the objectives. So if you go to no or fewer objectives, so the when you select the time frame here, so you will find all the objectives that are falling under that time frame. Here the segregation will be based on the limit that you set in the settings. Let's say you have given the maximum and minimum limit, right? So if the employees are not assigned to the maximum limit, or uh, any one objective, if it is not assigned, so you'll find all those employees here. So you can select the employees, and either you can create a new objective or you can clone from the existing objectives. So if you see here, I have selected time frame. So you'll have all the objectives that are under the specific time frame. So whatever the objective that you want to clone, you need to just select them. Just a minute. You need to just select here and click on assign objectives. So whatever the objectives that you select here, this gets cloned to all the employees that you have selected. So it is a bulk way of assigning the objectives. Like if you have a same objectives, this is the best way you can just clone it. So is this clear? Okay. So here, if you go to objectives not updated, here you'll based on the progress. If there is any objectives without any progress updated till now, so based on the time frame, you will have a report, or you can also download it. The report. These are the objectives without any progress till now. And apart from this, you have a additional option where you can set a approval chain for the objective update. So earlier, there were whenever you were updating the objectives or deleting the objectives, so it would be a discrepancy because even the employee has the flexibility to update the objective. So now we have given an option where you can set a approval chain in settings. If you go to approval settings, whenever there is a change in the objective, or if employee has deleted it, so you will get the approver in the inbox tab. So you can set a approval for individual and department, so that you will be aware of the change that they have done. Is this clear? uh, yeah, Vishalakshmi, we can clone it individually as well. So when you go to administration and active objectives, so against each objective, if you want to clone this objectives in actions, you have a clone option. So you can also individually clone the objectives. Okay. So then we'll move forward to the continuous feedback. So continuous feedback is not at all related to the review process. So if you want to review the progress or give the feedback on timely basis to the employees, you can enable the settings here. In continuous feedback, if you go to settings, you can enable the praise and feedback option. From here, you can also set the batches, customize the batches accordingly. So and then this allows you to give a praise and feedback to the individual. So once you enable it here, when you go to any employee profile, in the about tab and timeline and feedback, you have an option to give a praise, feedback and the internal notes. When you click on give praise, you can give a praise and select the applicable batches here. And similar way you can give it the feedback as well. And apart from this, you have a internal notes. Internal notes is only visible to the privileged users, so it is not visible to the employee. So if you want to give any notes, you can just add it here. This is clear. Pooja, all the privileged users like HR manager, executive and reporting manager can see the internal notes. Yes, Tanya, it will be in the same way. Yeah, so now if you go to performance continuous feedback, so once you submit all the praise and feedback to the employees, you can view the same in one screen. So you can filter based on the date range and batches here, and view all the praises that you have received here in this way. Who has given, and entire data can be viewed here from the admin view. So same with the personal feedbacks and internal notes. And so is the continuous feedback clear? Okay, so then we'll move on to skill section, skill matrix. So let's say if you want to rate, so if the employee want to rate on their skills, so you can set the rating scale here and create multiple skills and groups, and then from the employee profile they can rate on each skill. So, for enabling the skills in your organization, you can go to skills and settings. You have enable skills option, and you can set a rating. Rating scale will be same for all the skill groups. So once you save the rating scale, number cannot be changed. You can always change the label against that skill. So you can also set the approval chain whenever they rate against any skill, employee rates against any skill based on the approval chain. It will be going for approval and they can approve it. So if you go to skill groups, here you can create multiple skill groups. So I'll just create one skill group. So under the skill group, you can add multiple. So if you see here, if no skills are added, you will have to add. You can add any skill from here. You can add multiple skills against the skill group. In skill repository, you can create a new skill that you want to add. So if you see Java, C++, these are the various skills that you have. You can add, and once the skills are added, so whenever you are going to any employee profile, so once you enable the skills to any employee, you will have a section of skills that are shown here. So employee can select the skills and rate them against each skill. So one minute, I'll just show you. So if you select the group and skills, you will have all the employees shown here who has rated it. So from employees profile, they can select the rating scale against each skill and rate it. So once the employee has selected the rating scale, you will get all the requests in the skill update request. So you can approve it from the screen. So once it is approved, you will have all the skills shown here. So is this clear till now? No, Lakshmi, this is not related to performance review. Let's say if you want to know the skills of the employees, and it's like a survey on skills for against different employees. It is not related to reviews. Shalina, so we are not yet reached there. So once we complete this section, so we'll be moving to that. So is this clear till now? Like, do you want me to repeat any section? No, Lakshmi, as of now, we do not have option to upload it in bulk. Devi, is it skills part? Okay, sure, I'll do that. Okay, so skills, you can enable the skills from the settings tab. So once you enable it in your profile, you will have option to select the skills and rate yourself. So based on the rating scale that you configure here, so employees can rate, and after you rate it, you can set a approval chain. So if you want approval to be given, so you can set a approval chain, and you'll get all the approval request here in skill update request. So once you approve it, you can see the same here. So is this clear now? Great. There is an announcement. Basically, performance is a vast topic, right? So we just thought to split it into two sessions. So we have now covered the sections that we'll be using to review the process, right? So in the next section, we'll cover all the review process settings and the review form, and the entire process stage by stage till the final release of the review. So meanwhile, if you have any queries, you can just let me know. We'll help you out. Oh, actually, I think there is some issue with the screen, so I am unable to show you the skills section from the employees view. So here in this tab itself, you'll find the separate section as skills. So when you go there, employee will have an option to select the skill on which he want to rate, and from the rating cycle, he can rate and submit it. So once he submits it, you will get the pending request and skill update request here. Yes, Krishna. So when you are adding the objectives, so based on the objective, the target that you assign to the employees, the start and target value will differ. Start will be always zero, and whatever the target that you have given. So if it is a profit percent or a sales percent, you can just give the maximum as a target value to that employee. Any further questions? Okay, Shanti. So, if for a rating scale, so you have an option to set a same rating scale for all the skills. So when the employee, let's say he want to rate on his Java skills. So whenever is selecting the Java skill, and he can give the rating on 5 for him. So the label may be in this way. So if it is a 5 rating scale, within 5 rating scale, he has to rate on him, and before approval, he have an option to change the rating as well. As a reporting manager, so whoever is approving it in skill update request, so they can view the rating, and they can also override it if it is not justified, and then approve or reject it. Is this now clear? Yes, Lakshmi, you can have reports for skills. Yeah, we have an option to enable the skills in the settings. So once here in settings, once you enable the skills, it will be enabled for all the employees. Yes, Shanti, it is for specific technology. Okay, then. So we'll have next session on reviews in the coming week. Suppose this session will be sharing you the recording of the section, and you can just explore it and come back with the queries. You can always try to support.keka.com for any queries from performance. Thank you everyone for joining today's session. Shalina, you can see it in skill updates history once it is approved.